Yo, what's going on, chat? Welcome to another episode of Let's Argue About It. Today, I got my boy Killakev, aka Young Kev, with me today. We're gonna get into everything about the film industry, camera taking, media, music, everything. We got a lot coming in store for you, so stay tuned. Let's get it. My boy Kev, what's up,
What's
dog?
good,
You know what I'm
man? Slum
saying?
life.
So,
Yeah.
so tell the audience a little bit about yourself, bro. What what do you do? What you got going? Like, I know everything about you, but they don't. So, you toot your own horn right now,
Hey,
dog.
yeah, man. It's your boy Kev. Some people call me Killer Kev. I'm a photographer. This isn't my normal get up. I don't know if y'all guess what the costume is for Halloween, but if you know anything about me, I'm a huge music head. My favorite group is Jodeci. So all you got to do is look up Devontae Swing. You know what I'm saying?
If
That's
y'all
what
really think he looked like that,
it's
we gonna clip
Devontae.
this,
You
and
know
we
what
really
I'm
gonna see
saying?
if people can understand this.
Got the.
Like, if
I'm
this
telling
is
you,
you.
if you Google Devontae, I'm telling you everything about this right here. Cry for me,
Yeah,
forever my lady right here.
that's fire. I guess. All
Yeah.
right. But anyway, so yeah, like I said, you're cool. I hear about the photography, bro. Like, just tell the people, man. Like, humble beginnings, man. I've known you since what,
Man,
2012. Like,
12, 13,
Sands
yeah,
for
bro.
Cap Alpha Psi, all that stuff.
Yes,
So like,
sir.
just when I met you, I don't even think you even picked up a camera at the moment.
I
You was
wasn't
really
even
in
in
the
that.
you was in the marketing and sales. He got this weak ass Rocket shirts right here.
Hey,
You know
man,
what
not
I mean?
not too much,
It's
bro.
Laker Nation over here,
It's a real
but
team right here.
but I know that you started with the Rockets, so let's talk a
Facts.
little bit about that, bro. And like, what started this, and kind of like your transition into like film, and how you even got there.
Yeah, bro. So basically, long story short, coming out of college, I was a mass comm major, and I always wanted to play. I always wanted to play basketball growing up, as most people did. And obviously, it didn't work out, but I still wanted to like work for the NBA. So actually, the Rockets was my first job out of college. I got a marketing job with them. I worked with them from 2013 all the way to 2018. So I mean, literally, I'm spoiled. All I know is playoffs. Like
Yeah.
James Harden
Yeah.
era.
Hey, shout out to you for them playoff tickets in one year, though.
Well, you know
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
yeah,
Yeah.
Golden State
You know what I'm
came and whooped them
saying?
boys, but you gave me some tickets.
Real
That was the
talk.
first time I ever been to a playoff game. And them tickets
Word.
was going for like $800. But you
No,
was like,
I'm
hey,
telling
bro,
you, no cap.
Cali, I got you. You trying to come to the game? Slum?
Yes,
I was like,
sir.
shit, hell yeah.
Yes,
Yeah, I remember
sir.
that. I
I
appreciate
always
that.
try to look out, man, when I can, man. So that was one of literally my best job, best time of my life right there working for them. And then so while I was there, like you mentioned, I had no aspiration of doing photography. That's just not something I was into, but I kind of had like intrigue about it. I've always been that guy. Like when people want to take pictures, mostly women, they'd be like, Kev, they hand me their phone.
Yeah.
They'd be like, Kev, take it. Kev, take good pictures.
And that's so crazy because like I ain't trying to disrespect you, but Brody got a Android. So like
the best.
That's crazy to me that people would choose you to take
The
pictures.
best,
and you
'cause
don't
they
even
know,
got
bro.
You don't even got the best
They
camera,
know.
dog.
They know I know angles,
But,
bro.
but
Ask anybody.
that's neither here nor there. But yeah,
Son got the best camera, so I know what I'm doing. But
Yeah.
but yeah, so from there, I kind of always knew like angles and lighting and position and stuff like that. And then so fast forward, me and my buddy, his name's Kev, we got a YouTube channel. And in college, we always like hung out. He's my old roommate. And people used to always be like, man, y'all are hilarious. Y'all should do a show. And this back when YouTube was like kind of blowing up. People doing skits. We just didn't have a camera.
Yeah.
And then so fast forward, finally come like 2017, we're like, bro, let's just do this. He was doing music at the time. I was thinking about picking up a camera, so we split the camera. We got it real cheap, like $600. And so while we kind of like recorded videos for him doing his music, I kept the camera. So we record the skits, and then when we weren't doing anything, I kept the camera. I take it to my job, and I just play around with it. And at that time, I was working for the Rockets, and then I picked up a job with 97.9, and I mean, events, sports, doing everything. And I'm taking the camera everywhere, just playing around with it, shooting, playing with lighting, and then I fell in love with it, bro. I couldn't put it down after that. It was like self-taught. I had some mentors that I asked to teach me. Shout out to my boy O'Shea. O'Shea was the first one that really taught me because he told me, I was like, bro, I'm thinking about learning photography. He was like, that's cool, I'll teach you, but I won't take you seriously until you get a camera. I'll never forget he told me that. He was like, I'll take you seriously when you finally get your own camera.
Yeah.
And that's when I decided, all right, let's do this.
Okay. So what was your first camera?
It was a Canon Rebel T6i.
All right. How much it cost you?
About 600, 650, something like that. Yeah.
absolutely. I see why you say you take you serious. Paying
Yeah.
$600, like
Yeah, that's
shit.
an investment.
Yeah, you
And
better
Taylor,
take
that's
me
cheap.
serious. Yeah,
That's cheap
for real.
for a starter camera back then. That's cheap.
Wow, that's crazy. What they going for now?
Oh man, I mean, I think the camera I got 2,500.
Damn. Okay. Okay. So like, okay. So I hear you talk about, you played around with it.
Yeah.
You was taking pictures here, Rockets, 97.9, doing all that.
Yep.
Like, what would you consider your defining moment when you was like, hey, bro, this is what I like. I get it. You bought the camera.
Yeah.
But before you bought that camera, you
Man.
had to have that moment like, bro, this is what I know I want to do this. Like, I want to, like, yes, this is a passion.
Yeah.
This is a hobby, but I found the love and joy for it to where I want to make sure this is done the right way. No more playing around.
Yeah.
But let me go from being Killer Kev
Yeah.
to
Candace by Kev.
That's what I'm saying. So
Yes,
like,
sir.
what was the moment with that?
Bro, so two defining pivotal moments. One, it was
Okay.
when I was working for 97.9. This is like honestly my first concert that I ever worked. And this is before I actually picked up a camera. I didn't have it yet. So it was Party Next Door.
Okay, PND.
Never seen.
That's a
I
good
haven't
one.
seen them since. It was Party Next Door. It was at back then it was called Revention. It's Bayou Music Center now. And they had an extra photo pass. I don't know how they got it. They were like, Kev, you're new. I just started. This is like my third week.
Okay.
So they're like, Kev, go in there and get some video. I don't know how none of this stuff works.
They just said go get some. They
With
just
a
said,
phone.
hey,
I have my phone.
They said, hey, bro, here you go. Go take some
They
photos.
said, Kev, you want to go in the
back.
pit? Yeah. They said, Kev, you want to go in the pit? Here. They just gave me the photo pass. I'm with Young Jazz and I think J Mac or something at the time. They're like, Kev, you like doing this stuff? Here, go do that. And I was like, all right, where do I go? So they tell me where to go. I go to the photo pit, Party Next Door in there. And I don't know, you're not supposed to be in there with a phone. I got other people with a camera in there. I don't know no better. But like, bro, I was amazed. Like he had the lasers pointing down everything. And I'm looking like this through my phone. I'm seeing it through my phone, but like here. So I'm watching it, but I'm also this close. So I'm getting both views and I'm like, bro, this is live. And then like watching it back, I remember I kept that video on my phone for like 3 years.
Yeah.
Because it just looks so live, like seeing it in real time and then seeing it here. I'm like, man, if I could really, this would be dope to actually do this for like a living.
Yeah.
So that was my first defining moment. Then when I finally picked up a camera and started shooting more, I'll never forget, it was Black. Black had a show. And one of his openers, I can't remember who it was. He was either like Sabrina Claudio or something like that. And I remember being in the pit and looking through the camera. Bro, it was like magic. I was a huge music head. I was already listening to her music.
Mm-hmm.
But I remember zooming in. It was just like with the phone, but this time I actually had a camera and just being able to zoom in. And I was like, bro, at that point, I stopped being like just a fan. I was a fan of the music and of the art.
Okay.
Because I could see everything. It was like I knew, and other photographers can kind of relate to this doing music photography. It's like you know the lyrics, you know the music, but then when you marry the two together and you're seeing it through a lens and you're like, I know exactly what she's about to say, like, oh, it's magic or something. And she do her hands like I know that word, I know that lyric is coming up. So I know she's probably about to do something or love or whatever lyric that they have that may be accentuated and you're already waiting for it and you're ready. And it's just picking up that musical timing and knowing when to snap. Bro, that was the moment I'm like, I can really do this.
Yeah.
And then seeing it, when you actually capture it, you're like, I know exactly when that moment was. I got it. It's frozen in time.
It's a feeling.
Yeah.
Okay. It's a feeling. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So then like, you talk about music, you got a passion for music, right? So like you say, with a lot of photographers that I know, right? Even, shout out to my cameraman, Tony on the back.
Yes, sir.
What I mean? But even with him and like other camera people that I talk to, especially like members of Cool Dad and stuff like that, they always seem to have a niche, right? So with you, your niche is music.
Yeah.
So, I mean, granted, when you picked up a camera, you were just clicking and doing stuff or whatever. So what made it make sense for you to do music and not like, let's say, grad photos or let's not say, like you started wanting to do skits, right?
That's right.
Like what made you pivot from like, okay, I'm a funny dude, I could do skits, I could do a YouTube channel, but I know I love to do music. So like, where does this musical aptitude or background come from with you, I guess is my question.
Man, I always been a fan of music, even since I was younger. My dad, he's always been a music head, and then that kind of passed on to my sister, and then my sister passed it on to me. It took me a while to finally pick it up, but I think right around like 8th, 9th grade, when Napster came out, Download
Napster
music
is
on some of
crazy.
these young folks.
Yeah,
They don't know
y'all
nothing
don't know
about
nothing
that.
about no Napster and LimeWire.
LimeWire, you know what
Nah,
I'm
that's
saying?
crazy.
Kazaa, like they don't know nothing about
Yeah.
that. You know, so first when I started downloading music, I'm like, all right, cool. You know, this is dope. Taking a Walkman to school, showing my age, but you know, that's kind of where it came from. And I just followed it from there, man. And then led into college and it took off.
Okay.
You know, and like you asked, like, you know, why not doing the skits, being a funny guy? You know, I'm funny at times. I'm not like funny all the time. But I'm listening to music all the time.
And that's a quote right there, because a lot of people think they're funny all the time, but
Yeah.
they're really not.
You
They're
know,
only funny at times.
at times. I would say I'm like situational funny, you know, comedic funny too, but I'm not, it's not like it's just on all the time. You know what I'm saying? I'm not telling jokes while I'm at the crib. I'm not thinking of jokes.
Yeah.
I go to the crib and I'm by myself. I'm somebody completely different. I'm to myself and I kind of meditate and get into my zone listening to music.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
that's kind of how I find my identity. So music is something I can relate to at all times. Not everybody feels like laughing.
Yeah, I feel you.
Everybody, I feel like it sometimes feels like listening to music, and music has different emotions, different moods.
Okay.
You know.
Yeah, you know, you preaching a lot for music for somebody that can't sing or rap, bro. That's
Hey,
good
don't
stuff.
sleep, bro. Hey, I'm trying to tell you, that Jodeci case for real, bro.
Nah, for
They
real,
know.
bro. You talk about it. Oh yeah, you don't gotta edit that out though.
Yeah.
So you know, we talk about music. We talk about your defining moments. We talked about all that good stuff. So like, what I really want to talk about is like, let's get into like the whole film aspect, the camera aspect, everything like that. So a lot of people talk about capturing energy, right? Capturing moments before they kind of happen, right? Especially when it's music, you're seeing maybe a hand sign or a gesture. You know something's about to come up, so you got to be camera ready because you know you're about to capture some excellence. How is capturing authentic energy in the moment different than capturing like stage content, right? So when you think about stage content, right, I get it, right? Everybody streams, IRL stream. We went to DreamCon, shout out to DreamCon, but you see a lot of people with streaming. I've never seen that much streaming a day in my life, but at the same time, some of that is kind of staged, right? You see people hop on the stage, but it's like you was already pre-planned to do that, right? So how do you, but at the same time, when you see it, it still looks kind of like real. Like sometimes you can't differentiate it. So how are you able to understand the difference between, or like, what do you feel like is the difference between capturing authentic and capturing stage?
I think the difference, at least for me, I think the difference between capturing stage content, like you said, you kind of already know it's gonna happen. I think it's just about I think both of them you kind of have to be prepared. Stage content, obviously, you have more preparation, so you know what's about to happen. It's just about making sure that how you capture it is accurate to what's staged. You know, so we both know what's going on. As long as they do their job and they're selling it, you have to make sure that you're capturing and it's indicative of what the preparation was, what the stage content is. Capturing authentic energy, now that's harder, but that's again, I think that's more ownership on me, on who's capturing it. Capturing authentic energy, you want to make sure that again it's more accurate to what you feel. So like, whereas it's staged, there should be a connection. Like it's kind of like having a PS5 controller and you're charging it to the base. That's your stage content. Authentic is wireless. So if I move the joystick, my character should move. It should move how I want it to.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
I see where you're going with it. All right,
The authentic is like, all right, this person is about to do this. If I'm correct on how they're feeling, how I'm capturing should be accurate to what comes up and and what I'm creating. You know what I'm saying? So if what they're putting out is very dramatic, if what they're putting out is very raw, if it's uncut, maybe it's emotional, maybe it's sad, maybe it's high octane. What I'm capturing should show up in my work, whether it's the type of effects I'm using, my editing, if it's a slow shutter speed, maybe it's a drag or something, or a drift, or just certain aspects that you want to portray that should come with my work and what the artist is trying to put out there.
For sure, man. Okay, so let me ask you this, right? So you understand the difference, you understand how it is. So we've kind of been in Houston for a while now, so we've seen the landscape of how media just in Houston has changed, right? Like just how you're taking pictures of an event or what's important to capture. either just from being in Houston and its evolution, or just being on the internet and its evolution, right? What you captured in 2014 is not
Not
what
the
people
same.
is not what people care about. What you capture in
Not the
2025,
same.
right? So,
Boy.
how are you able to keep up with that, right? Because again, right, you've learned. Like I said, I've known you since what, 10 years
10
now.
years, bro.
So like, when you found your moments, right, P&D, them early years of your film photography career, how have you been able to like keep up with the trends of what Houston is, right? Because you got a lot of people that do different things, right?
True.
You got the boomerang guy, he does like boomerangs, right? You got people that are doing content that's just like, hey, let me ask you a question, and people are answering. And those are different types of media that's being captured. Is it staged? Is it real life, right? Sometimes I look at those videos, I'm like, bro, this person can't be that dumb. But they might really be that dumb because they're selling it so crazy, right?
So good.
How are you able to keep up with that and still, like, again, keep your passion and keep your focus and not stray off into what's trending, but staying true to you?
Man, so you had already kind of touched on it. Like, the identity of Houston from what was 2013, 2014 to now. I think Houston in general, and some people may disagree, but I feel like Houston in general sometimes has a bad habit of, I don't know, just biting off a certain culture and just running with it.
Yeah, okay.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Or whether it's something high or trendy and people have figured out what the game is, but we're also gatekeepy.
Yeah.
And that too, it's like, oh man, I done figured out the algorithm. I done figured out how to do this. Oh man, put me on. Oh yeah, I can't tell you that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So sometimes they're
Crabs
very
in a bucket.
gatekeepy.
Nah, they be gatekeeping.
You know what I'm saying? Crabs in a bucket. So I mean, that's just one aspect. But I think the main aspect is knowing, first of all, finding what your identity is. You have to have some type of identity. If you don't, then you're stuck. You're not going anywhere. At that point, you're just a culture vulture.
Okay. Real. Okay.
You got to have your own
talk
identity.
to it. Yeah. Really talk about it. Yeah.
You got to have your own identity. If you don't, you're literally just a follower.
Okay.
And if you want to do that, that's fine by you. If you find success doing it, that's fine. But you got to have some identity. So that's number one. Then number two is kind of finding where you fit in with the changing culture. You start with your identity, and then you kind of find where you flow into it. So like, say if your identity is doing comedy. Okay, cool. I do comedy. And then maybe the common thing to do is doing skits. Like skits was a thing back in, 2013, really early, 2014, 15. We were on that. We're not doing that anymore with Kevin Kev. We stopped doing skits. Now we're doing music reactions and stuff like that. We found what works for us. Our identity was always music. We just did skits a little bit. We went back to the identity. Okay. Sometimes now people are doing streaming. That's not our lane. That's not our identity.
Not at all.
Streaming is not something we do. We may pick that up, but only if it fits within our identity. If it doesn't work, then hey, at least I tried, but I'm not about to force something that I know already doesn't work for me.
I ain't finna just throw stuff and see if it sticks.
Nah, there's a time and place for doing that, but I think I know who I am, and I would just be doing something out of my character. It's not gonna come off. It's gonna. I think that's again the difference between staged and authentic. Like I could stage it, but people are gonna know
that it's staged.
It's not authentic to Kev.
Yeah.
It's not what Kev does.
This don't feel right for him.
You know what I'm saying? They may watch it, they may support it, but they'll be like,
yeah,
just go back to doing what you was doing.
Yeah, facts. Nah. Hey, just so y'all know, this is a real authentic conversation right here, man. So this is the difference between what he's talking about.
Same stage right here.
Like this is real genuine, right? Like I like what you say there because I'm the same way when it comes to what I'm doing now, right? We're only 3 episodes in, but like I was telling you and like I told my partner Juan over there, like, hey man, I only interview people that I know.
Facts.
You know what I mean? Like I don't want to interview, shout out to Lou Will, shout out to all them people. Like, maybe if Kobe Bryant was still alive, rest in peace, I'd be like, I'd take him for sure. But like I'm not interested in interviewing people who already are there, right? I want my friends who I think are famous for the world to see that are famous, right? Or people that I know within my circle that I feel like are doing big things or have a story to tell, right? I want people to know their story, right? Because it's different, bro. I think the idea of like, even when it comes to like, people do podcasts, people do social media, people do things like that because they want to get rich quick.
True.
It's a reality.
Yeah.
Like everybody thinks they can get paid off social media, right? Unfortunately, right?
Not everybody can. It's not reality.
Exactly, right? So like what I like to tell people is like, even when it comes to like me doing this, is just like with or without this, I'm gonna be paid. And that,
facts.
Glory to God. Thank you for that.
Cool, yes.
Blessed to be in that position. But I'm also able to spend an hour to come do this or spend an hour and a half to really put in this an authentic way and not force it to be like, hey, if they don't watch this, I got to figure out something
I
that's
gotta
going to
figure out
stick.
something. Yeah.
It's not. If it sticks, it don't stick. I have fun doing this, and it's just what it is. So like, I completely agree with like, you can tell when something is forced and people are
Yeah.
doing it for money.
Something
No,
natural.
absolutely, bro. So yeah, that's a good thing right there. So like, it wouldn't be right to talk to you and knowing who Kev is without talking about God, right?
For
Because
sure.
I think you were one of the first people that I even hung out with that summer when I met y'all,
Yep.
whatever. You was like, hey, bro, we going to church.
Let's pull up the church.
I was like, huh? I was like, huh, because I grew up in the church. Let me not say that, but I was
Yeah.
just like, bro, we just came off a bender all Saturday. You talking
Yeah.
about getting up to go to church?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, bro, let's go, man. I was like, all right.
Yeah, man.
And then like we would go, me, you, Nick, like we would just go. We would just go. Fountain of Praise, right?
Fountain of
We would go to
Praise,
Fountain of
bro.
Praise, and we would go. I still have the photo, and it always pops up all the time
Yes,
about
sir.
either Easter photo or whatever. And we all had just went to church, bro. And so, since then I had fell off, but I've gotten really way back into it. But just understanding who you are,
Yeah, bro.
and you are a vessel of God, right? So, what does that mean to you, and how does that help you with your creative process? When you're shooting and stuff, how does that guide you? In your day-to-day life and doing what you're passionate about?
Man, bro, honestly, like God is everything. God is everything in my life, bro. Like I would be nowhere. I'd be nothing without God, bro. Like Jesus Christ is he God. He's literally the center of what everything that I have going on. There's nothing, no decision that I make, no step that I take if I don't consult God first. So like when it comes to my creative process, sometimes we fall in ruts. You get in a creative funk. You don't know what you're doing. Sometimes, look, many times I'm like, what am I even doing this for?
Doubt.
What am I even doing this for? Because I think pandemic, bro, honestly was pivotal for me. I left my job. I'd already wanted to leave there. I already wanted to leave the radio station. I was kind of stuck and hung on to it because that's what kind of really took off my photography career, I guess, and to get into music photography. And now that was my lane, and I kind of hung on to it like, oh, this is the only way that I'm getting these opportunities, and I was scared to leave. But that's where faith comes in. If you're scared to do something, scared to take a leap, you got to really test your faith. And so God stepped in and was like, look, you already said you were going to leave at this time. You didn't leave. And then boom, pandemic hit. So it was like, he kicked me out. Forced. We all got furloughed. We all lost our jobs in March.
Yeah.
March 2020.
It's not funny, but I get what you're saying.
Yeah, like legit. You know what I'm saying? That's why I like, bro, quarantine one of the best times of my life. Like I hated, obviously it's tragic how, COVID happened, but that was a pivotal time for me because I probably would still be at that job unfulfilled. I want to say I was all the way unhappy, but I would have been unfulfilled. And so that forced me to kind of figure it out on my own. Like,
dang,
if you really want to do this photography thing and take it seriously, I'm going to give you opportunity. Not saying it has to work out.
Yeah.
But like sometimes we talked about, throwing stuff at the wall and seeing if it sticks. You got to throw it.
Yeah.
You got to take that leap of faith.
Yeah, you got to do it.
So
Absolutely,
I think that's what
bro.
kind of took my relationship with God to the next level. Like, let's throw this at the wall. Let's see if it sticks. You're really taking this photography thing seriously. Haven't looked back since.
Yeah.
Been 5 years and I'm still doing this photography thing. Like, that's it.
Yeah.
That's all I do.
Man, that's crazy. It's crazy that you say that, right? Because I was, COVID time, same for me, brother.
Yeah.
I was not happy where I was at. I was just kind of doing it because I was doing it. I was just like, man, I know how to do it. It's an easy job, but it's not really fulfilling. I feel kind of stuck. I ain't really where I'm at, right? And so then when the pandemic hit, like you said, I tried to do things that I thought would stick. I tried to do streaming. Like you said, back when Twitch was just about video game streaming, not like IRL. Like you were just playing Call of Duty and people would watch you play Call of Duty type stuff, right?
Facts.
Not people would watch you throw baby
Where
powder.
It is now.
Yeah, throw baby powder on your face and run around like
eating hot chips.
Yeah, bro, like we're not doing that, right? So then I realized, like, bro, why am I putting all that energy into video game? But I need to figure out a way to like get me some money outside of what I'm currently doing, right? Because like I had nothing to do but be at the house, right? And I was getting paid to be at the house.
True.
So it was just like, bruh, what are you doing? So like, nah, I got you, man. And like again, right? God has a funny way of like kicking you in the butt to do that, right? Because like I really didn't want to be at Pepsi, and I kind of started seeing the writing was on the wall that they were going to either let me go or I was gonna just my work was gonna be so bad, piss poor, to where it was just like, yeah, we have to let you go type thing, right? So, I had my daughter, during that time too, so it was just like, man, I gotta figure out a way to do it. And again, right? I like trucks. I like box trucks. I like
Why not?
logistics. Let's do it. Let's like you say, throw it and we'll see if it sticks. Right? And now 5-6 years later, I'm doing nothing but logistics and trucks. So I get it, bro. I 100% understand that. Like it's crazy. Like, and I was talking to somebody else about the pandemic, and it was just like, hey, it's either a pandemic or a pandemic for you, right?
Pandemic.
Either you got money and you figured it out, or you stayed there until the world came back to normal. And
True.
And then you just let that time pass you by. Like you had so much free time to be able to do whatever you wanted to do, whether it be get close with God, figure out what you wanted to do or whatever.
Yeah.
And if you didn't do it, you're still in the same spot.
Stuck.
So yeah. Now I get it, bro. 100% understand. So now I appreciate you sharing that with us, man.
For sure.
We very faith-based person. I am too, so it would be not right for us not to talk about it.
Wouldn't be
when
right.
you're on here because it's just like I know how much he's changed your life, and you always are. You send me Bible study invites all the time. So
bro.
I don't want people to understand that that's not a fake for Kev. That's the real Kev
real
right
deal.
there. So
and I'm still more Bible studies is coming.
I appreciate it. Yeah, if y'all want one, tap in with him. He inviting y'all.
Telling you, they be lit.
They lit. In a godly way.
In a godly way.
Yeah. You know what time it is now, right? It wouldn't be the podcast, it wouldn't be Let's Argue About It if we didn't have a topic to argue about.
Oh,
right?
yeah, man.
So, like everybody else, right, I keep this argument within the realm of what you work in, right? So you do music, you do photography, you go to a lot of concerts, so we'll keep it based on that. Yeah. All right. So the question is, are you ready? Has NBA YoungBoy surpassed Beyoncé as the new generation's like inspiration, putting on a better concert, all the above, right? Has YoungBoy surpassed Beyoncé?
Has YoungBoy surpassed Beyoncé? Honestly, you are asking me. I would say yes. I would say yes for this reason. Now, the first thing that came to mind.
Are you ready, y'all?
Quick little Google search here will tell us. Sensation. We type in sensation here. Okay. Yeah. What is the meaning of sensational? Causing very great excitement or interest. Okay. Causing very great excitement or interest with shocking details. Now, we all know Beyoncé is great in her own right. She's been doing it for quite a while. But what is she right now? We just living off coattails. You know what I'm saying?
Like
we kind of living off our Lord. We're resting on our Lord.
Like the Cowboys.
Exactly. We're living off them same old championships. There's nothing else to prove. Beyonce is great in her own right. Cool. We're talking about right now.
Yeah.
Okay. That's the difference between generational and sensational. She's a generation that's gone. Right now, we're in this generation. NBA YoungBoy is taking over.
Yeah.
He's viral right now, bro.
I'm not even really
That's the dude that was carrying. That's the dude that was carrying.
Yeah.
Had to shut down his concert.
Yeah.
Security had to pick him up.
Yeah.
Carry him out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bro.
Nah, I ain't gonna lie to you. I think I agree with you. And I had this debate in my household all the time. Because I'm like, I'm not gonna lie to you. YoungBoy is way more.
He up
there than Beyonce. Like,
yes.
I ain't gonna lie to you. What he's doing right now, I'm not gonna lie. I've never seen that amongst the young generation.
NBA stands for next Beyonce advocate.
Bro, what?
Next Beyonce advocate. That's what I'm going to say NBA stands for.
That's crazy. But no, like, so, again, right, I don't really think that there's much to really talk about now because, honestly, like, we know that he's a better sensation than that.
Yeah.
And if you haven't been to a YoungBoy concert, I implore you to try to get to one.
Check it out. You might as well.
Right now, the way that they're doing that, my neighbor, and he's a white man, was like, hey, I'm going to go to an NBA YoungBoy concert.
He said he was going.
He said that. I done talked to this man almost every day. I ain't never heard him talk about, I'm finna go to Beyonce concert. He ain't saying about no Chris Brown. He said, hey, I'm finna go to NBA. I said, have you ever seen an NBA YoungBoy concert?
Bro.
He was like, nah. I said, I need you to, before you think about buying them tickets, I said, I need you to, he was gonna buy himself. I need you to Google
this man.
Instagram or TikTok. Just NBA. He pulled it up. That man looked. He said, oh yeah, it's probably not for me.
It's probably not for me.
He said, I will go to Travis Scott or maybe a Playboy Cardi. He's like, Playboy Cardi coming. I was like, that's more your speed.
Woo.
Because that's completely different
Woo.
than what YoungBoy is doing.
Woo.
YoungBoy is doing something that is crazy.
Whoa.
And it's just like, I'm not gonna lie to you. It's a little, and I say this, it's funny that
Beyonce plays in the background.
Beyonce playing right now in the background. That's so crazy. And this is my favorite Beyonce song, by the way.
Hey, authentic, not stage.
Not stage.
Not
like
stage.
Beyonce playing in the background right now. But like,
bruh,
there's nothing that Beyonce has ever done, I think, at a concert that can touch what YoungBoy is doing at his current concert right now.
Nah, I mean, she's not doing anything that's going viral.
Yeah, it's not. Like, I think the only thing that went viral for her was that she about to fall out the sky.
Yeah, it would have to
unfortunately.
Or
she was about to fall out the sky in the lowrider, right? It was in Houston, and it was like, dang, you would. Yeah, bro. Like, again, we gotta stop living on the past championships of Beyonce and like pave the way because the new generation is here. YoungBoy is Pat Mahomes right now, baby.
No, facts.
He is on a tear.
He's on one.
And I don't see nobody catching up. So, as always, Kev, appreciate you for coming up. Shameless plug time, obviously. Shout out to Cool Dad. We're at Cool Dad HQ. If you're a father and you're looking to be a part of a bigger network, come tap in with me. DM me. Follow the page, Cool X Dad, on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, all those things. We do a lot of good things here, nonprofit. Again, if you're a dad, and even if you're not a dad, but you're a father figure in the community, come tap in because they're doing amazing things over here, all right? So again, that's it. Let's argue about it. We out.